Wanted to do a quick spotlight on the beautiful and tough as nails Sergeant Crabapple. It's what we're looking at here. Now the domestic apple, its cousin, gets all the limelight for its amazing fruit. And we grow plenty of those as well, but I love to let these grow wild for many, many different reasons. You can see its flower show and the nectar flow for all the other bees and pollinators. But it is such a tough, adaptable tree. Take this one for instance. Here we are with all this beautiful growth, and we're standing on pure rock ledge. If I were to rake this back, this is all stone. So half its root zone has to deal with pure boulder outcropping, and the other half of the root zone gets to deal with, it's gonna look like solid ground, but this was an old packed gravel tractor road from back when this was a full apple orchard. So the other half of this beautiful tree has to contend with packed gravel that probably has, you know, old oil stains and whatnot on it. And then the other half gets the whole rocky outcropping. It's super dry up here, super gravelly, poor soil, and yet here it is, growing like absolute crazy, flowering and fruiting. This one is growing in pretty dense woods right underneath. You see the big mature maples, there's some ash over there. So it's flowering this profusely in pretty significant shade. The soil is pretty damp down here. This is one of our bottomlands, so it's rich and consistently damp and moist, which they say can be a problem with some apple trees, as well as this big fella right here. This is a black walnut that's probably about 15 feet away, and they also say that these are sensitive to juglone, yet here it is next to a massive walnut in damp ground in intense maple shade, flowering so profusely. The camera doesn't even do it justice. It'll set some good fruit. It's incredible the conditions it can withstand. This one too, last but not least, a little while ago there was an old shed where I planted this rye here, and I took it down, saved the good wood, then burned the rest. Well, halfway through, the wind changed direction and swept it right towards this tree. And I'm not kidding, there were flames kind of engulfing this overhanging branch here. I thought I completely toasted it. And yet, here we are, still surviving despite all the odds. So we have a tree species that flowers profusely in the sun, in the shade. It can handle dry, poor gravel. It can handle damp, moist soils that stay consistently damp. It can seemingly handle juglone from walnuts. It can handle major deer pressure, browse pressure, and it just keeps on sprouting back. And it provides beauty, huge nectar flow, and delicious fruit for us, for our chickens. The Sergeant Crabapple. It's an amazing, tough member of the apple family.